it's okay. It's not the greatest weapon in the world. It's not the worst weapon in the world. I mean, it's just a shield that comes back like a boomerang. I mean, there's nothing a whole lot to it. Oh my gosh, it is the greatest weapon ever in comic books! I mean, it goes like, put the back of his hands. Oh my gosh, that shield is so darn cool! The laser is 'cause I like sci-fi. Good is 'cause I am a rad guy. 99 is 'cause I like Wayne Gretzky. That's why I'm Lazy Dude 99. Laser time, and we're gonna do a review. Yes, we're gonna review and talk about movies and comics too. Let's all go on to Hello everybody, I'm LazyDude99 and welcome to another LazyDude99 review. Today we are looking at Captain America, the Winter Soldier. This movie, of course, starring Chris Evans as Captain America, Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow, Nick Fury is played by Samuel L. Jackson, and we got Robert Redford in this movie. And yeah, that's about it. So the Winter Soldier, of course, takes place after the Avengers, and this is Captain America starting to get back in the world, because the Avengers, he didn't really have a whole lot of time to adjust to everyday society. He was just thrown into the situation. Oh, you're unthawed. By the way, alien invasion! Go! But now he's having a chance to actually adjust and get used to what the whole new world brings and to see where he fits in that world. And just when Steve Rogers is about to feel like he's settled into today's society, boom! Here comes the Winter Soldier. A guy that's gonna stir up some trouble and then blow it up. And so Captain America is off to find out who this Winter Soldier is and to find out that there's a bigger scheme behind the whole ordeal. So let's just start this review by saying Chris Evans, oh my gosh, is he the perfect Captain America? I mean, seriously, when he leaves, I will be so sad because perfect Captain America. I mean, the way he plays Steve Rogers going through this ordeal, it's just great because you really get this inspiring character. He's not a perfect character, but he's really someone who you want to inspire to be like. He still has that like World War II area style around him and that style of sensibilities, but he's also catching up to date with modern stuff as well. I like that there's a scene where this guy talks to him and says, here's something that you missed. Look this up. And Captain America goes down, and I'm like, oh, is Captain America gonna have a cell phone? Is he gonna tweet about this or ask something on Wikipedia? No, he brings out a notebook. He's like, yeah, that sounds good. I'll just write that down and see if I'll check that out when I have time. I love that. I mean, nobody else these days would carry on a notebook, but he doesn't even blink at the fact that he does. He just pulls out a notebook and, okay, that's interesting. I'm also finding the internet very helpful, but I like how he's starting to know more about our everyday world, but he's not letting our everyday world change him at all. He still has his regular sense of sensibilities. He still has his regular sense on the way the world works, and he's not going to let the outside world or the new things that happen in this world change him at all. Oh my gosh, though, guys, the fight scenes in this movie, so incredible. I mean, that was my biggest problem with the first one. The biggest problem was that there weren't that many great fight scenes and the choreography wasn't that memorable. But in this one, the very first fight scene, oh man, I was so into it, enjoying it, soaking in each and every moment of it. Just the way he's just bouncing off people off this boat, and he's like bouncing the shield up and down, and the way the shield works, and he uses it in his combat as both defense and offense, and then quickly puts it on his back like, yeah, I just did that, no biggie. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. And all of the fight scenes are like that. All of the action sequences resort to just being really thrilling, suspenseful, tough, and every time Captain America punches someone, you feel the power and the weight of that punch, and he feels like he's throwing around people like they're ragdolls, and I love it. In my mind, the action in this movie is second only to the Avengers. That's right. I like it more than any of the action in any of the Iron Man movies, any of the action in any of the Hulk movies, and even better than all the action in Thor. Better than the Thor movies put together. That's how much I love the action in this. I don't know what it was. It's just, it felt so awesome and cool at the same time with just the way it was presented. And the camera shots were just, love it. There wasn't a lot, like there was a little bit, but not a lot of shaky cam. You know, that's another thing I love. Like when there's someone doing a cool move, you can see him doing a cool move. And he's not doing that cool move just for the sake of doing a cool move. He's doing it because that cool move is the quickest and most efficient way to bring that guy down. Then we also have the Winter Soldier. Now, I'll talk more about the Winter Soldier when I get to the spoiler stuff, because I don't want to spoil anything. But I like the way the Winter Soldier was portrayed. Really cool, really skilled. And that robot arm makes him like more than a match for Captain America with the way he uses it. I love that about him. I love the way he's presented. I love that his look is very similar to my look, just with long hair. It's a really cool look. He doesn't look that different from the comics. The only difference is in the comics he had more of a domino mask, and in this he has shades and a mask, which I don't know. I think it makes him look cooler. Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow. Oh, I love her in this movie. Here's the thing. I like Black Widow in this movie, but every time I watch Scarlett Johansson, and I can't really comment on this because I'm not an authority of Black Widow in comics, I'm like, is she doing a good portrayal of Black Widow in the comic books? Scarlett Johansson seems to be having a lot of fun with this role, and she's smiling a lot, where Black Widow always came off to me as more serious, you know? Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of moments where Scarlett Johansson kicks butt as Black Widow, and she has really smart moments too, but she seems a little bit more happy and enjoying this stuff, is able to enjoy stuff in the moment, where Black Widow in comics has always come off to me as very serious. But, hey, that's just me. Since I don't read Black Widow comics, I can't actually say that. Maybe she is more lighthearted in the comics, because the only stuff I really know her from is the video games, and in there you don't even get to, in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance, you don't even get to play as her, you just talk with her. And she seemed very serious to me, but I still like Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. I still like the way she's portrayed. She's a little bit, she's a little bit of a spy, and there are times when that clashes with Steve Rogers, and how he's like, look, the fact that you're lying about this, you think it just makes you think that you're doing your job. To me, it shows that you don't trust me. And let me tell you guys that I was not suspecting how high the stakes were going to be in this film. I mean, I thought they were going to be big, but I didn't know the ramifications that were going to happen because of this movie to the Marvel Universe, and how big it was going to go, and the twists and turns that it will do. I'll talk more about it in the spoiler part, but there's one thing that they did in this movie that I thought they were never going to do in a movie. I didn't think they had any chance of ever doing this thing in the movie that's in the comic book world, but they did it, and I'm like, yes! Oh, I love that part so much, and I'll talk more about it in the spoilers. So, okay, complaints about this. Okay, here's one. It's not a big one, because I know why they did it, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. You got Falcon in here, and Falcon, I was interested to see, I'm like, okay, how's he and Steve going to get together? Let me just say, though, that I like Falcon in this movie much better than I have in any comic books, because, as I've said before, Falcon's costume in the comics is one of the worst costumes I've ever seen. It looks dumb. It really, no. It looks stupid, okay? I think it looks stupid. Here, I love the costume and the way that it works. And here's the thing, that is kind of a complaint, but kind of not. Falcon, when Captain America and Black Widow go to him, they're just going to him because he's someone that Steve has just met, and therefore they might not be watching. The people who are after them might not be watching for him there, and so they're hiding at his house. And then he volunteers his services to them and says, yeah, I flew in this special task force thing, and they shows that, and there was the Falcon wings and everything. So he was trained to use those a long time ago in the army. It was a stealth rescue squad that he was a part of. So he had already used them. And on the one hand, I'm like, oh, good, because it wouldn't make much sense if they just said, hey, Tony, are you around? Hey, can you build some wings for this guy that I've met? Yeah, he's going to use those and be Falcon now, and he's going to fly and do loop-de-loops and flip-de-flips, and he's going to be an expert at it without having any real practice. You know, if they went that way, that'd be stupid. But the fact that the one person who has training in this extensively difficult flying mechanic, and one of the only people in the world that has this type of training and access to this equipment, it's a little convenient that just happens to be one of the people that Steve had just met a few days before this whole ordeal went down. It's a little convenient, and I don't know if there's anything they could have done to make it less convenient. Maybe if there is this, you know, they met like at a banquet for people who were only high-profile heroes, but he was supposed to be like retired from the army, so I get why they did what they did, but it's still a little convenient that one of the people that Cap just happens to go to and that's just barely met just happens to have training this extensive technology winged Falcon suit. But that being said, I still like Falcon in this movie much more than I ever have in any of the comics. The guy who plays him, he's funny and he's tough and he goes after Captain America the same style that he's doing this not because of any reason for him. He's doing it because it's the right thing, and and he believes in Captain America, and that's why he's doing it. So I like the camaraderie they have with each other and how they grow to actually become really good friends, even though they barely know each other from the beginning of this film. Samuel L. Jackson. He's in this movie as Nick Fury. He's still awesome as Nick Fury. There's this entire fight sequence that he has, and throughout it I was like, okay, when's Captain America going to show up? When's Captain America going to show up and stop this bad guy and save Nick Fury's life? Captain America doesn't show up. Nick Fury just kicks the butt out of all these guys in a way and just gets away. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it just goes to show that Nick Fury can kick all sorts of butt on his own. There are some confusing elements to this film where I'm like, wait a minute, what are they trying to sit here? Okay, we're moving on. Where I'm like, okay, wait, what's happening? Who's what? But the movie goes at an extremely fast pace. But I feel like there are plot holes that they just don't explain it. I have a feeling that they probably are explained, but I just didn't get to see the explanation because the plot is moving so fast and it's going. So this is not a movie that you leave for like to get some popcorn in the middle of it. But why would you do that anyway? That's stupid. But anyway, if you did do that sort of thing, this is not the movie to do that, because if you missed the wrong scene, then you were lost. Totally and completely. Now here's the thing. One of the things that I applaud this movie is I thought, when I saw the trailer, I thought it showed too much. But there are so many plot twists and turns to this movie that I did not see coming and was legitimately surprised by. You know, like, I rag on the plot twist in Iron Man 3 all the time, and people say, well, you didn't see it coming, therefore it's a good plot twist. Well, no, that doesn't make it a good plot twist. It's still a dumb twist because of the results that come from it. But the twists that come from here up the stakes, make you realize, holy shoot, and stuff like that. And is it better than the first one? Absolutely. Is it better than a lot of the other Marvel movies? Absolutely. It is. Okay, in my mind, here are the best three Marvel movies now. Iron Man, Avengers, and Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And I'm not saying any order, because I'm not saying that in any order, but I love Captain America, the Winter Soldier so much more than the first one, because it ups the stakes, takes Captain America, puts it in a modern day world, and makes it work so much. Chris Evans is awesome, the villain is awesome, Robert Redford's character, I guess I should say maybe that's the weakest part of the movie. It's not weak as in bad, because the guy still has some memorable parts to him, but everything else is just so much more memorable that his part is kind of, at the end, his ending part is kind of almost glanced over. I won't say it's fully glanced over, it's still there, but I'm just saying it's not as big as a part of the movie as it probably should have been. But that's just me. For any criticisms that I have of this movie, they are pretty few and far between. You know, sometimes these guys are falling from great distances, and you're like, okay, yeah, that should have either killed you or crippled you or something. You know, and I'm just like, yeah, but it's a superhero movie. I can buy stuff like that. It's okay. You know, other stuff, I would probably have to see it again before I noticed any plot holes, because the movie just kept me entertained with so much good fight scenes, dialogue, good acting. This was a thrill ride. It was a thrill ride on all levels. And I am giving Captain America, the Winter Soldier, a 8.5 out of 10. You got a good story, great action, great main character, good villains. What else do you want? Go see it. Definitely see it. I don't care if you're a Captain America fan or not. I'm not really a Captain America fan, and I love this movie. It was great all the way through. Okay, now, time for spoilers. So, this is my spoiler part of the review. If you have not seen this movie, I applaud you to go see it now. I beg you to go see the movie before you continue on, because these are good twists, guys. I hate spoiling movies for people, so don't make me do this. Don't say, it's okay, I can watch this spoiler part and then watch the movie. No! Go watch the movie first, then watch this. Okay? Good? You all good? Everyone who's here has seen it? Okay. Hey! You! One person, go away! You haven't seen the movie yet? Yeah, there. Good. Now we're all here. So, let me just say, who saw the Arnim Zola twist coming up? I didn't. I mean, the whole thing where they have all these old computers, and all of them store Arnim Zola's brain. For those who don't know, Arnim Zola, I don't even know that much about him in comic books. I know he's a Captain America villain, and you know he was the wormy guy in the first one. But I knew that eventually in the comic books he turns into like this big, I don't know if it's a computer screen with a head inside a body with a camera on top, which is kind of his real head, I guess. And when a computer screen came up with the camera, and we heard Arnim Zola's voice talking, I was like, yes! Yes! This is going right where comic book stuff should go! Yes! And the whole thing when he's talking, I was in heaven. I loved it. I love the whole thing about Hydra was actually infiltrating S.H.I.E.L.D. for years and waiting silently and infiltrating this member and that member and that member and slowly building up S.H.I.E.L.D. so they could actually use S.H.I.E.L.D. to take over the world. Now, one thing that I will say is their plot to use all of these helicarriers to then kill millions of people at the same time and then kind of take over the world. Okay, was Hydra in control of more than just those 3 helicarriers? Because if you think about it, if those 3... when I was thinking about it, if those 3 helicarriers are the only thing that's going to be shooting at random civilians that could one day be a threat to Hydra, it's not going to take too long before American Army can use their systems to then blow up those helicarriers. You know, a few missiles will do it. It's pretty... possible that a few missiles could shoot down a helicarrier. One arrow nearly shot down a helicarrier in the Avengers. So, to me, I was just like, are those 3 helicarriers, I don't care how many guns they have, it's not going to take that long for them to get shot down. The thing that I thought about is like, wait, do they all have the cloaking ability? Do they all have the cloaking ability from the Avengers, like one of the Avengers did? Because if they did, that'd be pretty interesting. And I know that it would have been less realistic if there was like a fleet of 1,000 helicarriers, because there's no way they could have gotten that much money and all those built in that period of time. And so I was wondering, did Hydra have more control over other systems, over other countries' defenses? How much control did S.H.I.E.L.D. and therefore Hydra have? I didn't know. That was one part that was a little confusing to me, and I will want to double check to see if they explain any of that in the movie when I see it again. I'm not sure if I'll see it in theaters again. I might. My brother, pray for Chris. His wife is saying that they don't have enough money to see any movies this month, so I'm going to rub it in how good Captain America 2 is. Anyway, I knew the whole thing about Bucky being the Winter Soldier. I was wondering, would anybody else really be surprised about it? Because they have that whole thing where Captain America goes to the museum, and I think that's actually a really good scene where there's a whole museum dedicated to him, and he's like, wow, this is kind of strange. But there's that one part that's dedicated to Bucky Barnes, and I'm like, okay, they're bringing this up, obviously, to foreshadow for anyone who doesn't know about Bucky. They're going to foreshadow it and find out that he was really the Winter Soldier. I wish that they explained more how how they froze him, because they show it, but they don't really explain how they freeze the Winter Soldier, and then whenever they needed someone to be assassinated, they unfreeze the Winter Soldier, let him, which is kind of why he's called the Winter Soldier, I guess. Maybe he's not. Maybe that's just me who thinks that. But anyway, after he's frozen, he comes out, shoots someone, and then goes back into cryogenic stasis. I love the part where they manually just erase his memory again, and he's like a tool for them. And I like how the part, it's not ended in a, "You're Bucky Barnes! Fight it, Bucky! I'm your friend, Captain America!" I guess it's kind of like that, but the Captain America has to fight Bucky first. So, it's not like he's puts the whole safety of the mission on the fact that maybe Bucky won't hurt me. He, eventually fights the Winter Soldier and then puts the chip in, and then after that he's like, you need to remember who I am. And the Winter Soldier doesn't exactly remember who he is, as illustrated as a part in the end credit scene where you see the Winter Soldier at the museum looking at the Bucky Barnes thing, and he's still finding out who he is. All he knows is at that moment is that Captain America is not an enemy. That's all he knows. He doesn't know that he's his old friend. He's not back to his full self yet, or else he'd just say, "Hey, I'm Bucky Barnes. Hey, Cap, how's it going?" I like that the Winter Soldier just realizes that he's not, and Captain America isn't an enemy. I like that about it. I wasn't fooled by the Nick Fury death twist, because Nick Fury loves to fake his death. If we had a comic book character who has faked his death more times than any other person, it would probably be Nick Fury. I mean, it's something he does like every Thursday now. Oh no, Nick Fury's dead. So, Iron Man, I got bets on 5 weeks. 5 weeks before Nick Fury comes up again. Hulk, bet 10 days. Okay, Hulk, we got 10 days. How about you, Black Widow? I don't know. Maybe he's actually dead. Okay, I don't even know where I'm going with that. But the part where he takes off his eye patch. See, this is where I love. This is where Nick Fury or Samuel L. Jackson became Nick Fury for me, because he hasn't had a chance to do anything in this film except say, "I'm not gonna do that, Council. We're gonna let the Avengers handle this." Basically all he's done. He did a great job playing this spy who believes that these underhanded natures are necessary, and that he's willing to do the more evil, maybe not evil, but the more brutal things, and how he clashes with Captain America and how that works out. And I love how him, Black Widow, and Captain America, they're all just like, you know what? This isn't fuel for the Avengers 2. This is just these characters in these situations, and they're awesome. So, I think I've talked enough about this movie. I haven't gushed on a movie like this since, well, the Lego movie. So, I'm LazyDude99. Thank you for watching. If I don't like it, it's not worth it. Make sure you check out the Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Oh, wait. This is the spoiler section. You should have already checked out Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I'll get you, you... See you around. Be sure to check out more of my other videos on my channel. And wait for more coming soon.